Thank you very much, Dr. Sab. बहुत शुक्रिया आपका and congratulations for organizing this event and highlighting the criticality of the challenge and the importance of the challenge in such a glaring way. I think what we need to understand, although this has been said in the morning as well as Dr. Ashraf actually portrayed it very well, I think what we need to understand is what we have been doing in the last couple of centuries in terms of putting the carbon into the atmosphere. I think what we're seeing in terms of the water scarcity, the water security challenges, there's a direct impact of it. Pakistan happened to be right in the middle of this challenge, and at the same time we have the abundant resources of water, but because of the several reasons, we have not been able to make a very good use of those resources. And the end result is we're seeing the kind of the challenges and the disasters which we are seeing. So I think one of our colleagues, friend, and a fine brain which Pakistan produced, Dr. Adil Najam, he said it very eloquently. He said, if carbon is for mitigation, water is for adaptation. That uniquely applied to Pakistan. NDRMF, our role is disaster risk reduction. Actually, we got dragged into quite often into the disaster risk management kind of areas as well because of the challenges and the gravity of those challenges. So we are conscious about that, but we have never been able to kind of lose our focus from the risk reduction. Now, when it comes to the risk reduction, especially from a water context, I think the early warning system becomes critically important. In the history of our operational kind of a history which we have been working with the provincial governments as well as the federal agencies in trying to improve and intensify the early warning systems, and we have done those measures in number of those extremely vulnerable regions, especially when we're talking about the Balochistan, Gilgit-Baltistan, Azad Jammu and Kashmir, and some areas of Sindh as well. But we know that, and it's kind of an open secret that a lot has to be done, and this is something we are actually gearing up in terms of moving ahead, and the next phase of NDRMF, which is actually focused on working on a number of kind of a large-scale projects, the big-ticket projects, and especially many of those projects and interventions are going to be focused in and around the water management systems. They come in different formats and shapes. We're talking about the water conservation, the check dams of various sizes and different locations, as well as we're working extremely closely now, and this partnership has actually intensified with FFC, where we are working with in the next phase of their implementation, which is for integrated flood management system. We have been very much engaged in the updating of this NFPP4, and that document has a number of very exciting and interesting features, which are extremely aligned with the kind of challenges which Pakistan is facing. But at the same time, the best practices and some of the examples actually borrowing from international practices as well. So that is going to be quite a predominant kind of a portion of our work in moving ahead, and that includes the early warning systems as well. But at the same time, I do not want to really undermine the importance of more localized and domestic early warning system, which we have been traditionally doing it in our previous operational phase as well. We're going to continue to do that, but at the same time, we're going to be scaling ourselves up and working with a number of provincial governments under the guidance and the support from FFC, a number of other partners as well, to come up with more integrated, a lot more kind of a widespread system of early warning system. And I think this is what is needed for Pakistan. Otherwise, we know we've seen a kind of a glimpse of it in last year, and of course we do not want the repetition of that kind of a scenario moving ahead. But that requires, of course, a consolidated effort, and NDRMF is kind of taking that challenge, and we are entering into a number of partnerships with the like-minded institutions, as well as the institutions who have the challenge and the mandate for that. Being a fund, we know our limitations, but at the same time we know our strengths as well. So what we're doing is we are just capitalizing on our strengths and reaching out to the other organizations, for example, IWMI and FFC and provincial governments and a number of other institutions to implement those systems. Thank you.
Thank you, Bilal, for the